What's going on, hockey friends? We are back! And today we are once again talking about the Detroit Red Wings and their prospects, but today we are focusing on their hottest commodity. It's Simon Edvinsson and why he is the next Steve Yzerman home run. But first, I just want to get this out of the way. I'm going to be calling him Simon Edvinsson and not Simon Edvinsson, as some people want to say. It's actually pronounced Simon Edvinsson, but it's easier for me to say Simon. It feels more natural, but anyways, let's get into the fun stuff. So I remember at the draft this summer where Edvinsson was picked at 6 overall by, obviously, the Detroit Red Wings, and I said to myself, I thought William Eklund would be picked ahead of him, making him the first European skater to be picked at the draft. I thought Edvinsson was too inconsistent and lacked that top tier decision making, but the skill and the raw talent was always there. It was just finding a way for him to making it all work and eliminating the glaring mistakes that were there, and then you would have a really promising defenseman. And when Edvinsson went 6 overall, I thought it was a bit early because the consensus around him was that he was a top 8, top 10 player, but that just goes to show how wrong I am and how Steve Yzerman simply does not care about our opinions. He's done it again. He did it with Mort Seider, he did it with Lucas Raymond, and he's going to do it again with Simon Edvinsson. So what's changed from the pre-draft concerns to today, where he's a major force on one of the best teams in Sweden while playing big minutes in one of the best defensive pairings in the league? In reality, not a lot has changed. He's just learning to utilize his tools and playing to the best of his major ability. He's a star on both ends of the ice and he is a difference maker. Let's look at the stats so far. In the SHL, he's played 20 games, he's got 1 goal and 10 assists for 11 points, and in the Champions Hockey League, he's recorded another 4 assists in 8 games for a total of 15 points in 28 competitive games this season. It's very impressive, and none of these points have been on the power play. It may sound wild, but Edvinsson does not play on the power play. If I recall correctly, he's had 2 shifts on the power play and it's been like a total of 30 seconds, and that's it. His points come from 5-on-5 play, and he's actually played more time on the box play than on the power play. So Frölunda are really trusting him, which is great to see, and he's top 13 in the SHL when it comes to average time on ice during even strength, with an average of almost 19 minutes per game. What I want to say with this is that Edvinsson is a huge part of Frölunda's success this season. They're currently top of the SHL standings and in the quarterfinals of the Champions Hockey League. They're a great team, and Edvinsson is one of the driving forces for that. So what makes him so good then? To begin with, his skating, he is so smooth on the edges, and with his size at 6'5", he looks majestic. He's also a really skilled puck handler, and he seems to have this go-to play when he comes down the left boards, cuts inside, and creates something dangerous. Sometimes, however, there are better plays to make than when he just crashes the net, but hey, it's entertaining and I like to see it. Obviously, there are going to be comparisons with Mort Seider, who had an amazing year in the SHL before coming over to the NHL this season. And at the moment, Seider edges Edvinsson for me if you want to compare SHL seasons. But Seider did it in his draft plus 2 year, and Edvinsson is doing it in his draft plus 1 year. And we still have half of the season remaining for Edvinsson to keep wowing us. So let's come back at the end of the season and compare them instead. A concern of his ahead of the draft was his defensive game, and while it's not as good as his offensive game, he's definitely taken steps this season and looks more composed and patient. But still, there are moments where he is too eager and too aggressive, and if there was a part of his game that I'd criticize, it's that he needs to make the simple play sometimes instead of going for the flashy, high-risk play. This doesn't just go for passes, but also for pinches, but he's maturing and learning each game, and he is improving, and by the end of the season, I think we're going to see an even more well-rounded Edvinsson. But speaking of those high-risk plays, when they do work out, it's incredible. So if we're going to look ahead, not just for the rest of this season, but also for the 2022-23 season, I'm going to say it's all going up from here. He's going to the World Juniors in December, and he's going to be the main piece of Team Sweden, who obviously are going for the gold. As for the rest of the season with Frölunda, barring anything crazy, he's going to keep playing on the top pair with veteran Christian Folin, who by the way is probably the best partner Edvinsson could ask for. He's NHL experienced, he covers for Edvinsson, and he's a mentor for him, and they formed one of the best defensive pairings in the SHL this year. And there's probably not a better team in Sweden for Edvinsson to develop on. I've talked about this before, but Frölunda is incredible when it comes to developing young talent. You look at some of the stars in the NHL that they developed, you look at Rasmus Dahlin, you look at most recently Lucas Raymond, the list can go on, Erik Karlsson, John Klingberg, Victor Olofsson, you get the idea. Edvinsson is in safe hands and will just get better and will be a key player for Frölunda if they want to challenge for the SHL championship. Looking ahead to the 2022-23 season, I'm expecting Edvinsson to make the jump to the NHL. With the way he's developing and just getting better and better, I see no reason for the Red Wings not to bring him to the NHL and play with Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond, something I know you Red Wing fans are very excited to see. And I don't blame you, you have another elite defenseman prospect on your hands, and with the way Seider and Raymond have played this season, adding Edvinsson to that is just incredible. I envy you. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Talk to me in the comments about Edvinsson. How good do you think he can become, and do you want me to make a similar video on any other players? There are more Red Wing players on Frölunda like Elmer Söderblom who have been incredible this year. Leave a comment below and I will see you in the next one.